Well, hello. Once again, this is me, Leonard Wells, broadcasting as usual from Haslingden, north of Manchester in the UK, on Friday the 2nd of July 2010. This is my vlog, and it's a wide-ranging vlog because I have been away for over 3 weeks in Kingston-on-Thames, which is quite close to London, as you probably know. I spent 3 weeks, 21 nights at the Antoinette Hotel in Kingston-on-Thames. Not the best hotel in the world, but quite good for the price. And surprisingly, it is owned by a Hungarian family, and the staff there were either Hungarians or Lithuanians or Poles. So it was quite cosmopolitan, and they all spoke quite good English. Now, there is only one thing worse than 3 weeks in Kingston-on-Thames, and that's 4 weeks in Kingston-on-Thames. And I had quite a job finding things to occupy me. Although I was down there on business, which I won't go into, and several things of importance in my life happened while I was there. Quite early on in my visit, I went to see an osteopath close to Surbiton Station. I have some tension in my shoulders, and I thought he might be able to improve that. And the first thing he told me was that I had what appeared to be a hernia in my tummy muscles. And this was quite alarming because I've already had 3 down in my groin, so I'm quite an expert at having hernia operations, and the last 2 were using keyhole surgery and were reasonably okay. The first one was more difficult because in those days, in the 70s, they used to tie up the muscle with polypropylene. Hopefully this next one, although more complicated than that kind of hernia, will go fairly smoothly as well. I will keep you posted. What will be interesting to see will be how long it takes. Now, what happened, the way the circumstances panned out was this. Several days before I left, I woke up one morning with a sore tongue and swollen lips. And of course, having smoked for most of my life and having an imagination inflamed by thousands upon thousands of Hollywood movies, I immediately thought the worst. So Monday morning, I was on Surbiton Station at 05:30, bright and early. Not many of us were there, I can tell you. And taking the train into Waterloo and then the Northern Line Underground to Euston, I was back in Haslingden, 30 miles north of Manchester, by 10 o'clock, and thus able to make an appointment to see my doctor the same day. He told me, after examining me, first of all, that I definitely did have a hernia. He's sending me for a scan, and I'm waiting now for an appointment. And then I will go to see the surgeon, who will give me a date for an operation. Hopefully it will be in August, because in September I'm due to go to Romania. I've already booked my ticket and I don't want to lose it, though I might be able to claim off my insurance. The other thing he told me was he took a look inside my mouth and he actually asked me if I'd been doing naughty things with a woman. I'm not going into it any further, but it came out that I have a kind of fungal infection. So he's given me a fungicide and all kinds of tablets and maybe even a herbicide for all I know. So that should be sorted out, and it's already improved after 3 days with just the tablets and a mouth gargle. So while I was there, of course, we had the budget, and everybody had been anticipating a harsh budget. On the face of it, for most people, those not in the know, it didn't appear very harsh, because in most budgets we expect cigarettes to go up, petrol to go up, and beer and whiskey to go up. But this didn't happen this time. All he said was that in January VAT will rise to 20%. It is now 17.5%. And most people didn't really feel that that was very harsh at all. But actually, when the cuts to the government spending start to bite, and he's told us he's going to knock 25% off the spending of most departments, not all of them, some of them like the health will probably not fare too badly, but when they start to bite, and economists are saying we might have another 1 million people unemployed, well, it doesn't make any sense to me to keep people at home twiddling their thumbs on unemployment benefit. All right, it's only £50 a week, and a lot less than we would pay them if they were in work, if they were working in some office somewhere, pushing a pen somewhere. But nevertheless, it makes much more sense to me to have people working than not working. And I'll tell you what will happen. 5 years from now, we'll have another election, and people will be so pushed off with the stinginess of the government that they'll be thrown out on their ear, and we'll have Labour back in. And I tell you this, the Lib Dems will be lucky to get a single vote, because in a way they sold the Lib Dem policies down the river when they joined with the Conservatives. They ought to have joined with the Labour Party, but they didn't. And I suspect that the voters will have their revenge not too long down the line. At least we've got the possibility of changing the electoral system. And we hear today that we're going to have a referendum on the subject in May of next year, the same date when the council elections take place. So that will be very interesting to see how it goes. And if they lose, I suspect the Lib Dems will pull out of the coalition. Anyway, we live in interesting times, and I look forward very much to seeing what happens. But ever since the war, we've had this, 1 minute the Conservatives cut, then the Labour come in and they spend, and then the Conservatives get back in and then they cut. No wonder we're not really going forwards. We go forward and then we go back, and we go sideways and then we go the other direction. So this is democracy. Well, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't spend 100 billion on a submarine full of atomic rockets, would you? I mean, I've got potholes in my street out here, and we're wasting 100 billion on bloody rockets. Good God Almighty, haven't the Americans got enough of them? I would have thought that if North Korea decides to attack Britain, they'd be wiped off the map by the time you could count from 1 to 10. By the Americans and by other people in NATO. So, I think we better call this a day for the moment. I'm hoping to go and live in Romania, if I can persuade my girlfriend to agree to my buying a property there, which are very reasonable at the moment. So I'm just going to close now. I'll be back on the air as normal within a day or so with a normal daily vlog. This time I've had to cover 3 weeks, so I hope I haven't bored you. Thank you and goodbye for now, and God bless, while it's still legal to say God bless. Take care. Bye.